Hello and welcome back to another episode of Hitting the Bars. This is Keltie, virtually next to the beautiful and wonderful Sav. How's it going?
Hey, it's going fantastic. How are you this lovely morning / it's mid-afternoon for you?
It's pitch black and 5 p.m. at night here. So completely a little bit
not
different.
even mid.
But you know what? Opposite sides of the world problems. But it's going great over here. Just a little dark. But we got vitamin D drops and get as much sunlight as I can, and that's all you can ask.
Exactly. It is weird when we are like complete opposites. Like you're in snow and I'm in heat. And I'll also see you'll text me at like 2 a.m. But then I've always texted you at 2 a.m. when you live, back at home in Canada. I have been having the weirdest thing where I will wake up at 3 o'clock. I don't know. It creeps me out. Okay, let's get real for a second. Creeps me out because I was like, I swear there's like a witching hour, hypothetically, spiritually. And it's 3 o'clock. It's specifically 3:33. And I woke up a couple times exactly and checked my phone. And then the other day, Michael's like, I've been waking up at 3. I go, 3:33? And he's like, yeah. So the night I didn't, he woke up. And it has been creeping me out. And I think it's because I've been very, very skittish and just creeped out in general because of the whole, I don't know if you've heard about it, but it's the University of Idaho murderers.
I heard
murders.
I just heard about that like a week ago. And creep.
I cannot I'm not a true crime girly. I can't do that kind of stuff because, like I said, I can't sleep when I watch scary movies. When I listen to anything scary, I cannot sleep. But I think the last scary thing I watched was the Ted Bundy thing with Zac Efron, and it was solely because it was Zac Efron. But and it gave me nightmares. So to hear this, and I've been really invested in this case because I went to Washington State University. So I think I was just fascinated because when you go there, it's very safe. Nothing happens in these towns. There's nothing around these towns except wheat fields. You don't ever lock your doors. I lived in multiple homes that we never once locked our door. It was just very safe. So I think I've just been so creeped out. Michael's like, why are you following this case? And I'm like, because it baffles me that in a college town like that happened. And so I just wake up, and somebody posted on TikTok, they equally wake up, even though they caught the guy, quote unquote, in the middle of the night because they're so disturbed at what happened. Yeah.
Oh my God. The world works in weird places. And my mind, I can't follow stuff like that because I will not sleep. I even listened to this one horror story during Halloween, and they're talking about looking in mirrors and it's a portal to something. I couldn't look into my bedroom mirror. I had to run for 2 months. I can't, for my own mental well-being, except in Halloween that I kind of thrive in it. But everything else, I pray for everyone. And it's an awful situation, obviously, but I can't consume that. Otherwise, I'm the same as you. I'll start waking up at that time. Then my mind races, and maybe you just have some weird alarm, something that goes off at a certain time in your house that is a little beep, and it's waking you guys up, and you don't even realize it. I'm trying to think of less scary things.
Our house is noisy in general, just because it's a large house with creaks, and when you have humidity, things creak.
Yeah.
But I think I also Googled it, and people were like, it's not because of the witching hour. You just have stress or your sleep cycle's off. So there was a lot of explanations for it. But I know for me, when I am creeped out by something, I wake up around that time. I wake up middle of the night, just creeped out. And I think it upsets Michael, because he'll wake up at the faintest thing that I'll do. Yeah. So I think that's why he's been waking up as well. At least that's what I want to think. So catch me saging my house later today.
Please do.
Right?
Just, might as well play it safe. Just play it safe.
We honestly, we did sage the crap out of this house when we moved in, just because I just believe in making everything new and your thing. And our friend Ocean was over the other night, and he's a holistic doctor. And he's very, very spiritual and things like that. And he came over to see the house, and he was like, have you saged this house yet? And I was like, yes, trust me, Ocean, I have saged it multiple times. And he's like, good. He's like, you should always just clean the energy. And I'm like, okay, yes, Ocean, thank you.
I honestly love that. I might go do that. We're in our new apartment in Sweden. I think you inspired me. I'm going to sage the place.
You should. You got a new apartment?
Oh, we just came to Sunsville. This is our first time up here, and then we were in a like, temporary place, and then we have our actual like apartment we're staying in for the next probably year and a half. We'll see.
Oh, okay. You know, I do want to come visit you guys though, and I want to go see a hockey game.
Please do. I would love that. That would make my life.
When you're home, when you're there, do you go to all his hockey games?
Yeah, for them, it depends. Like, you know, I have my own life and things happen and get in the way, and like I've got work or I'm sick or something. But I try.
I didn't know if it was like, easy really to just go. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, it's super easy. It's just like
you get like VIP treatment.
Sometimes we're just in the crowd, but sometimes
you're back in the boonies.
Yeah, you never know. We usually get it pretty good.
I'm so fascinated by your life there, Keltie. You keep it so private online. So, I mean, I know you as a friend and I know your life, but I'm always like, what is it like? What is it like?
Maybe one day I'll film a full,
Please
what's it
do.
like? Something like that.
Please
you know what I always say? Like, I've always romanticized starting a second channel and like a vlog channel.
Yes.
Just that.
I thought you were going to.
Shh.
Oh.
Maybe something.
Okay. I only dream, you know.
I know.
Well, you know how some friends like, oh my God, you go ahead.
But I was just going to be like, there's like 5 things I want to do in life. And like, you got to prioritize. So right now I got like 3 or 4 that are like my priorities. And so like eventually once those are streamlined, then other things. So it's not like a no, but it's a hopefully down the road.
Okay, perfect. Great to know. But I was going to say, you know, like when you're in this industry and you have a lot of friends that you've met in general, like you and I have met through Gymshark and things like that. Yeah. And it's weird because your friends post online so you can literally follow their life. And I know like some of my friends, they'll watch. I remember Kat and Ken would religiously watch my YouTube channel because they would like text me asking me questions about it. And like you also have some friends that are like, oh, that's really cool that you do this. But they don't necessarily watch it because maybe that's not the type of content they consume. I am somebody that consumes my friends' content because I want to watch what the fuck you guys are doing. So I'm always like, yeah, do it, Keltie. You never post this. Like I literally am a consumer of everybody's content. I love it. Big hype girl over here.
I appreciate it. I love it. I appreciate it. I love like consuming my friends. Like just it's a nice way to check in. Like what if they've been like, what if their little like coffee order right now? You know what I mean? That's what you can kind of learn. So I love that.
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
Actually,
I just really like it. It makes me happy. I feel like I'm hanging with friends.
Right? You know what? That's actually a perfect little segue. Like, there's a little habit of how to check in on your friends. Just check in on their social medias that they have it. And that's I'm just going to segue into today's episode. So what we're going to do today is just 5 micro habits to building a habit. Sometimes it might be breaking a habit. We'll talk about the difference and kind of how you can swap those out. But pretty much 5 simple things you can do right away if you've kind of fallen off the bandwagon, you're trying to get back onto it, you tried to do fitness and wellness in January, it just wasn't working. Let's just simplify and get back to the basics and just 5 little things you can do. So I'm going to start with number 1. Number 1 to building a habit, this little micro habit you could do to building the actual habit is just make it under 5 minutes. Make it super easy, super short. Do not start with, I'm going to do an hour of this. I think one example I heard of someone trying to build a fitness routine, they only had to go to the gym and work out for 5 minutes. And they did that for 6 months until eventually it was so easy. And then they're like, oh, I might as well stay for 10. And that was just part of their life. Do you have some examples like this?
Yeah. Kind of even like we talked about in the past where I'm like, okay, I want to add more water into my everyday routine. Mm-hmm. It was as simple as just getting 2 cups of water before coffee, maybe drinking the water while I make the coffee, opposed to sometimes people are like, I'm going to increase my water intake. And then they buy like this trendy jug of a gallon of water. Classic. And then half the time it's like inconvenient. You can't bring it anywhere you want. Like you can't wash it as well. And so like, just make it simple. It doesn't have to be that hard. And it doesn't have to be this life-changing habit. Just like slowly, like you said, add a small thing in. And then if you have been drinking water constantly and you're like, oh, I'd like to splurge and buy this nice jug, then do it.
It's perfect. And that's actually like a nice little segue of like number 2 would just be start simple for 30 days. This is why I do my 30-day challenges. I just like it because there's something about a new month is fresh air. Some people say a habit takes 21 days. Some people say 66. There's a lot of different research. I just picked 30 because that's me. and just start simple for those 30 days. An example would be drink an extra glass of water for 30 days. Like I said before, just go to the gym for 30 days, maybe not every day, but Monday through Friday, and you only go for 5 minutes. Like make it so easy that habit's built, and then build onto the habit. Instead of being like, oh, I have to go to the gym 5 times a week for an hour, just be like, I'm going to go to the gym 3 to 5 times a week for 5 minutes, and then make it 10 after its habit, and then 15, and then build from there. I'm not saying just the gym, with anything. And like water, like you said there, start with just a sip of water before your coffee, and then a glass of water, and then something else. Did you have anything like that you've built on, just that you started small and you've noticed over time you do it, whether it be like running or anything?
Well, this one's kind of random, and I think that's because, I don't know, I'm not very good at skincare, okay? And like remembering all the different serums, it's just like not my thing. So I wanted to improve on washing my face. It's literally the bare minimum. I'm sure all of us have like gotten into this habit, but for me, I did not. So I wanted to start washing my face every night before I went to bed. And for me, I was like, like to get a washcloth and, soap and constantly bring it wherever I'm traveling, whatever it is, was like too much. So what I did was find like a compatible micellar water, like face wipe. And I slowly started with that. That was like a cleansing wipe. That's easy. Yeah. I can bring it anywhere. I don't even have to wash my face. I don't need to find a towel, whatever it is. And it sounds so simple, but this is literally how my brain works. Yeah. So I use that. And then like I was feeling really good about my skincare. So then now I kind of graduated into like, okay, every couple days I bring a washcloth in my shower, whatever it is, and I change out the soap, whatever it is. I don't know if that makes sense.
Oh,
but
fully.
That was something I started small with and have built up to now washing my face regularly every single night. It's just a routine for me, but it was just so hard for me to get into it because I was like, ugh, I hate getting my face wet. I don't know about you, but I don't like being wet. Like I don't like showering, everything. Like I hate being cold, and even like washing my face, I hated it. I don't know. Maybe that's a weird thing about me, but I just don't. I do it, but I don't enjoy it.
I respect it. I will say, I don't think it's weird. I think there's a lot of people, but I want to be in water. I want my face splashed with water. Like my biggest pet peeve about wearing makeup is that I can't splash my face with water 50 times a day. Like I love being wet.
You want it
all the time. I wish I could just like have 6 showers a day and wash my face all the time and just jump in water.
That is my nightmare.
Yeah, I wish I could all the time. Water, baby.
How funny.
Yeah, just
see, I like swimming, but I don't know. I just like seems like a hassle. Your hair wash days. Yeah.
I respect
so that's funny. We're opposite.
I say like, but now because I have to wear makeup and hair wash, I don't. But like if I didn't, then I'd want to. So there's a little caveat there.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
On to number 3. Reward yourself for being consistent with your habit. But I think you should reward yourself as what the best version of yourself would. Now I'm going to give an example. I'm going to use weight loss just because I think this is a really clear example. I know weight loss is a tricky subject. You don't have to lose weight. Some people, though, want to lose weight as part of their fitness journey, and that will make them healthier and happier. But if you have a really bad habit of like eating 2 or 3 chocolate bars every day, and you're like, that's limiting my weight loss journey, maybe don't reward yourself with a chocolate bar. Reward yourself with how your ideal the ideal version of yourself would be. So like, or let's just say you have a spending like habit, like that's something you're trying to break, whether it be shopping. Don't make your reward for your new habit be shopping. Do you know what I mean? So I think go visualize who your ideal person would be, your best version. Like what would they reward themselves with? Like whether it be maybe you just get like a fancy latte, you buy yourself a pair of socks, you take a 30-minute Pinterest. Maybe buying the chocolate bar is the reward your best version of yourself would be, or buying something. Like I can't say where your bad habits and good habits are because they're different to every single person. But I just like saying that. Reward yourself with how the best version of yourself would reward yourself versus like rewarding yourself with something that's going to negatively impact you. Like I think the classic is like you work out and then you go eat something. And that's a very complicated topic, but I'm just saying like think outside the box with how to reward yourself. Do you have anything like that?
I like that. Yeah. I'm trying to think if I have anything that I reward myself with lately. Honestly, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but I do agree with that statement because I think it can get tricky when you're like used to rewarding yourself every single day with chocolate or whatever it may be, and that may not be your goal.
Yeah.
But even little things like if you've been really consistent with your workouts, like taking an extra rest day or something like that, you know, like of course we need our rest days, but even an extra one where you don't have to, you know, like little things like that I think can be nice, and everybody's different.
Oh yeah. I love that. Yeah. It's all just like think about some stuff you would like that are a little treat that'd be a nice reward and that's not going to negatively impact you. Like that's why I even said, like, I know it sounds simple. You know, like a good pair of Lululemon socks, they're like $30. It's a lot for a pair of socks, but like $30 a month isn't that much money to add in. So it's like, maybe if I stuck to my fitness routine for this month, I'm going to buy myself some like bougie socks. You know what I mean? Like something like that. Or yeah. Even it's like, oh, if
I like that,
or if I work for 3 hours solid without going on, you know, or 3 hours solid, I'm going to have an actual mindful 30-minute Pinterest break, like some things like that. Okay. On to the next one.
I love a good Pinterest break.
Oh, it's, you know what? This is the best. Pinterest is a safe space. I know we said it 100 times, but like Instagram, TikTok, you don't know what you're getting. Pinterest is my place to sanctuary.
Agreed. Same.
Okay. Number 4, Sav has mentioned this, so we'll see if you already guessed her answer, but I'm going to challenge you to think of something else aside from your coffee and water, but pair with another habit. Pretty much habits. There's what is it? The habit loop. There's the cue, the habit, and the reward. I missed one, but pretty much there's something that sets off the reminder of the habit. There's you doing the habit, and there's the reward for doing the habit. So caffeine would be you wake up, you see your coffee machine, then you drink your coffee, and then the reward is the high from the coffee. So another thing you can do is either pair it or swap it. So whether the coffee, you see the coffee, put right beside it a big glass of water so you swap it, or pair it, like you said, or just pair it with it. Like you still drink the coffee, but you have the water. Do you have any other examples of times you've like swapped out bad habits for good ones, or you paired them aside from the coffee and water?
Aside from my iconic coffee and water.
Iconic.
Yes. I'm getting into the habit of making my bed more. I know it's something as like simple people do, but like Michael is not one. He's like, if he did not live with me, that man would never make his bed.
Classic.
So I'm big on like aesthetic and like feeling clean and put together and minimal. Like I don't like clutter. If you see our house, there's nothing there, like other than just like furniture, maybe a couple, you know, plants here and there. So for me, I needed to add in making my bed every morning. So what I did was I would lay my clothes out on my bed. Like say shower, right now I'm into cold showering, put them on the bed. So then I'm already over there once I get dressed, and then I make my bed.
I love it.
So like it was little things of like me getting into the habit of like actually getting dressed for the day in general, and then showering, and then making the bed.
Oh, I love that. That's a great habit. I will say that was the first good habit I ever built. Like when I first was like, first self-help book I ever read, anything, that was the catalyst. It was making my bed when I woke up.
Make your bed.
And then suddenly I started doing that, and that was the catalyst that made me want to do everything else. So there's a good one just to start with if you don't even know where to start.
I love that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And number 5, here's my biggest hack. And there's a lot of actually science behind it and many of great examples I can do. But this is a bit more of like a little extreme, or if you're just so lost and you just can't break any of your habits, they're just everywhere, they're surrounding you, you can't build good ones, you just feel you're in this rut and everything is working against you. 5, change your environment. Now there's the insane one and you know what, this works for some people, like move across the country, move to another country, move apartments, move to another country. Like my routine, I get a blank slate every time I come to Sweden, and then if I'm here long enough, I get a blank slate back in Vancouver, and it's kind of nice. You get like I can build this routine with all my knowledge and start off. Now that's obviously not accessible to most people, so my example would be change your gym. Go to a different gym, drive a different way to work. Maybe just move around your apartment, move the furniture around, change the scent of it. But just depending how bad the habit is, I think, and where the example I will give of just showing it is they've done a lot of studies on people in the military who are overseas, and they develop, I believe it's heroin, which is the worst of drugs addiction. And they're always really, this isn't always obviously, this is a very broad subject, but I remember this one research study, and they were worried when all these guys would come back with these debilitating addictions, and suddenly they came back and a crazy % of them no longer used, because simply it wasn't there. The cue wasn't there. They weren't surrounded by it. So like it was just quite simple because they just simply changed their environment.
Oh, interesting.
And that's how powerful it is. Because, you know, like I was talking in the one before, the cue to remind you of it, the cue's not even there. It's not accessible. So you're never kind of reminded of it. And that's how powerful just simply changing your environment can be.
Huh. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. Anytime you've changed your environment and you've noticed a lot of good habits or getting rid of a lot of bad ones?
Yeah. I'm trying to think, like, as in bad, I don't know. When we do move often, we're always building a new routine, always building new habits. Like, I'd say in New York, we were great about taking Bentley and getting sunshine in first thing, because, you know, you had to walk him, you had to go in the streets, where when we're home in Puerto Rico, we might get a little lazy with him. Yeah. So like what we are trying to do is like the first 15 minutes, we'll take him out, and just like try and get that sunlight exposure as well, and that maybe make a cup of coffee with it. But we usually both try to take him out. Like, we're trying to get back into that routine that we had in New York where we'd go together, because here I think we'll be like distracted. Michael starts working immediately, things like that.
I love that. That's literally the perfect example of like just a new environment and how much it can influence you. So just to repeat it,
yes,
I'm going to say if you're trying to build a habit, here's 5 little micro habits / hacks you could do to build the habit. Number 1, make it under 5 minutes. Number 2, start simple for 30 days, then build on it. 3, reward yourself as your best version of yourself would. 4, pair it with another habit or swap it with another habit. And number 5, change your environment.
I love it.
Perfect.
You nailed it.
Try to.
Also, I do have a recommendation.
Ooh,
if anyone is interested in like a book about habits, Atomic Habits is fantastic, which I think a lot of people have read already, but if you haven't heard, now you've heard, and I really enjoyed it.
I was literally going to be like $10 as she says Atomic Habits. It is such a good book if you haven't read it. And also, here's a little hack. If you don't want to read it and you know you won't, he has a TED Talk. Is it James Clear? Or no, James Clear, another one. I think it's something. It's Mark.
Just look up Atomic Habits.
Yeah. Find the author of Atomic Habits and then type in his name, TED Talk on YouTube, and you can get it in under an hour. But read the book. I would recommend the book. But there's a little hack for some of you who won't read the book.
And it just like simplifies it a little bit more.
Oh yeah.
Like the book. It makes it seem less daunting.
It makes you like us humans, we're still so evolutionary primitive in some ways, and it kind of teaches you just how to hack your own day-to-day routine and just make habits stick. Perfect.
Exactly. I love it. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in for our little mini episode or little micro episode on this.
And we will see you guys next week. But if you haven't, hit us up on Instagram. Send us any DMs if you have recommendations for other podcast episodes you want. If you have a confession session that you'd like us to read on one of our upcoming episodes, we would absolutely love that. It will be Sav's wedding soon. So if you have any really funny wedding episode, any funny wedding confessions, please submit those and we'd love to feature those. And we also have, if you didn't know, we filmed this whole thing on video, so you can check us out on YouTube and actually watch us talking, not just hear us.
I love it. All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll chat with you next week.
Bye.